Geshe Jinpa Sonam Rola Penjire Sangye Sangye Chedam Soki Chonam Chanchu Porto Dani Kapsan Dage Jinso Yipe Sonam Rola Penjire Sangye Ruparasho Sangye Chedam Soki Chonam Chanchu Porto Dani Kapsan Dage Jinso Yipe Sonam Rola Penjire Sangye Ruparasho Simjen Tamje Lewa Tang Devi Gyu Tang Lembara Gyu Simjen Tamje Dungal Nam Bunga Ye Gyu Tang Trawara Gyu Simjen Tamje Dungal Mebe Lewa Tang Mindra Vara Simjen Tamje Nyeri Chadang Nidang Tra Tang Nyamla Nebara Gyu Simjen Tam Lewa Tang Devi Gyu Tang Lembara Gyu Simjen Damje Dungal Dan Dungal Ji Gyudan Tawara Simjen Damje Dungal Med Dewa Dan Mindawara Simjen Damje Nirin Chadan Nidan Ta Nyamla Nebara Gyurji Simjen Dam Dewa Dan Devi Gyudan Lembara Simjen Damje Dungal Dan Dungal Ji Gyudan Tawara Simjen Damje Dunga Met Dewa Dan Mindra Varki Simjen Damje Nirin Chada Nidan Tra Dan Nyamla Nebara Gyurji Sijibyo Ji Juji Me Do Re Sangye Jindu Mindembu Doi Gwenanda Jin Lai Chebaju Yedang Guru Rana Mendala Gani Atayami.
Until enlightenment, I go for refuge to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, by the accumulation of the practices of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Until enlightenment, I go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha, by the accumulation of the practices of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Until enlightenment, I go for refuge to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, by the accumulation of the practices of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings never be separated from joyful bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment, and anger. May all sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings never be separated from joyful bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment, and anger. May all sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings never be separated from joyful bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment, and anger. This ground spread with incense, adorned with strewn flowers, Mount Meru, the four continents, and the sun and the moon. I imagine as a Buddha land, and by offering it to you, may all living beings enjoy this pure land. Thus, meeting the teaching of the peerless teacher is due to the spiritual mentor's kindness. I dedicate this virtue for all living beings to be cared for by excellent spiritual friends. Iram Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryata Yami.
Okay, doing some them Pambechin, the Kodam Tela Chazalo. Yeah. Ah, didn't I mean him in so, I mean him. Amakanga la Tashi de Lesirwa.
So, first of all, today is Mother's Day. So I would like to wish all of you mothers out there a very, very happy Mother's Day and Tashi Delay.
Jasumga to Lojula Jasumga to Jura. Jasumkin Ramming Yimochi Matayomare. Nampinata, choosing his safety, the Amin Yimorchadiore.
So generally speaking, when we look at the lifespan and all the years, then within all of our years, like all of these years of mine, for example, then there's just one actual mother of this life. But when it comes to the Buddhist perspective, actually, then we have many, many, many mothers. All are our mothers.
Margur Semchen, Sidigalata, Letan Guncho Mare. Gundu, Semchen Tintin, and Semchen, the Jinzo White, the Katuina, Semna Jang White, the Permissive Ketchimores.
And actually, it said that we should never forsake our mother. We should never forsake one of our mothers, which would mean actually all sentient beings. For it is all sentient beings who at one time or another have served as our kind mothers, and therefore we always remember their kindness. We're always grateful for their kindness, and we never forsake a single one. Otherwise, that would be a great fault.
What at the end of Allah, drinking camp ma. One, Majun the Jutra, Mike Tinsing, Stagi. Mother didn't to be a make a shadia, the Stagi, such muchadia.
And actually, the kindness of our mother is very precious and very sacred. And we should always remember the kindness of our mother, because there's no one who has been so kind to us, besides this mother, besides this mother's love. There is nothing more cherished, and therefore we should always be grateful.
We should send the Luigi Madre. You need some time to match among you, mains, some time to tin tembayina, and it go some time, sometime you would chagadoa.
And so this is when we meet the mother of this life. But actually, this very sacred and cherished love and nurturing, there is not a single sentient being who has not cared for us in that way. And therefore, when we think about this, actually it really brings us, a very special feeling, very, very close to all living beings, as they have all at one time or another been our mothers.
What Ranzo Telecan number Sangiba Sidugala? Simchen Tamje Be Machimanyo Jimade Ripetu Tuya Shadiore.
Ripetu
Ripe. The tape logically tape Tuya Chadiore.
Oh, Drutuya.
The Tindigalata morning as a Susu Semna Kotuina, Tijitin. The Maseba Susu Yula Sangya Rigiorwa. Read the Sayala Ma. Simjan maybe Nijike Gudwa. Nijike wala, Nyantape Simjamena, Nijike Kaburdwa. What a ticket Indicala Simjans in the Morgu Simjan Digity, Sangela Tablamla, Nijike Makina, Sangya Tablan Yomare. Pe Yanayang. The Indicala Sangi Chetemba the long Simjan la any pe. Nijikene and Mazugula Nijike Kenjavani, Tan Ranador, Sangi the Simjani, Dingin Ranador. The Indugala, and then Sangila was the Zache, Simjala, Tunjun Kese, Nyanajiaki, the Mindua. Gisen. What I think is something the Gundu, some of the Staina, and in Aranzo, me Sundaji Tonina, Senta Nebuji Legere. Simjin Kandijina, Senta Nebuji Legere. But Missive Ketchambor, the Gundu, Jangwa, the Missive Ketchamchadi or is.
And especially as Buddhists, we know that there has not been a single living being who at one time or another has not served as our parent, as our kind mother. And actually, logically, we can establish this. Logically, we can understand exactly how that is the case. And so actually, whatever sentient being it is, all have been our mothers. And we should constantly keep this in our mind. We should really always have this as part of our constant understanding, always thinking about this. And we have the ability to purify ourselves and become Buddhas. And how exactly is it that we purify ourselves and bring about the conditions that will establish us into Buddhahood? This is done based on compassion and bodhicitta. And it's for mother sentient beings. It is for sentient beings who suffer that we develop this compassion. So it's really based on sentient beings actually that we ourselves can become Buddhahood, can become Buddhas, can achieve Buddhahood. And if it weren't for the case of having sentient beings to develop this kind-hearted, open-hearted attitude we would not have the ability to do that. And although we have Buddha nature, we are of the same family, we have the potential of Buddhahood, without sentient beings, actually, we wouldn't have the method to use as a path to eventually achieve this Buddhahood. So it is everything. Sentient beings offer us the conditions. They are the condition upon which we generate this compassion and therefore have the condition to develop bodhicitta and then become Buddhas, because simply having the potential alone wouldn't be enough. And so there are both Buddhas and sentient beings, and of course we hold the Buddhas very precious and very sacred. But also, although we hold the Buddhas precious, we should never at once look down or have disdain for sentient beings, because it is due to the kindness of sentient beings that we can become Buddhas. And so whenever it is, we should always hold this thought within our mind stream. And whenever we see other people, even those that we don't feel close to or don't know very well, when we hold this understanding in our mind, then instantly we form a closeness. And so we feel like this precious and cherished feeling for them as well. And this is a very, very important point, and I ask that you always keep it in mind.
Uma jigepana, ta maso kazante samdeni pa dichivaina, karsa kazang maso rang lula ni pe chasing kaya de shene, ta page troll chasing kaya de she go de ledio. Ta chesa liu jepo zo de rang jinjin domya de shibu rang jinjin lo de domya. 이 왕기 중에 뉴모 차세라서 바되게디 도미야도 좀 숨는 것도 와. 제가 차베 세바데 domla 리들라 아니 백견도 많다나. 아니 리들 미베 세바데 dom투비야 요마르와. 이 시부게 전부 차대 왔다. 그 갑두라 바게 소소라 강 펜람도 됐다고 그래. 다 때리기 Luila any Kundu Tani, the Kundu Tonding Michi, Carriore. Luin Daltar Tomika, Tetana and Lusuncha as a Smudo, Majigapena, Lum Papa Lagi, Ariende Wagi. Luila Nazutape, Luila Sepadomiata, the Lila Pe, Kundu Tani, Tanajin Tonguyanayang, Luidi Sungur Tas. Cardina, Luiti Luthen di Tony. Talwage, Jorochu Cham, Luthen di Tony, Miniming and the Tubiagi, Twinkinji or Yanko, Zanchon Taya or Elagore. Luiti Katina Kundu Tayagi, this Lagiomare. Cook, Tundungur, Ganakaringu, Sepakiata, Chapakiadan, Gunji Chole and the Kunduta. Young, give it short to be a Yondugala, Que, find the zoo, could. ताजु मिली समारे मिली रिम्बोचे थवाला यानी पे करसा तलवा के जोराचु सांगे के मिली थवाला यानी सुरी नंबर तबे जिरजु मनम टिमा में बे सुल्टिम नंबर तबा सुल्टिम नंबर तबा जिसुंगु वारे यानी मनम टिमा में बे सारम के जिरगु वारे
मनम
टिमा में पा ओ 다 렌징기티마 아니 란진징기티마 때문에 겨지 참 잘고 거래. 아니 퍼진 짐발로서 봐 퍼진 쪽이 쪼지는 마도 단디 가서 류텐 상포들 라야요 말다. 어떻게 양삼당 거래.
And also 퍼진 루카니 마두나 데네 딜 라야요 말에.
예 밀리 짐부치 라야요 말에. 밀리 상포다 라그러 밀리 상포 밀리 질부친다 라그러와. 밀리 짐부치서 다른 가서 배 최년에 깔바다 된데기 밀린 된지 최두야 깔바다 된데기 밀리 또벨라 가가요래 밀리 강가 저 밀리 예체데 강가 최 테크니도 어때 개발해요래
And so mostly in this 8th chapter of the Way of the Bodhisattva, at this point, what we're looking at as our clinging fixation to our form, to our body. And the fact that to this body with the freedoms and endowments, we have great clinging and great fixation. And due to our clinging, actually, we fall under the sway and are influenced by attitudes, by afflicted mental states that really charge us in a way that we're not actually using our precious, this human body to our advantage. And so therefore, we need to actually look at our form in a way that isn't so fixated, but actually we see its faults, we see its downfalls and misgivings. And we need to be able to find fault in this aggregate of form, in this body, because otherwise we will be bound. We will be tightly bound by our own fixation and clinging. And if we do not see the faults, we will not be able to be freed from these bonds, from these shackles. So we very much must look at the faults in this flesh and blood, this body, this form. And so Lopan Aryadeva has said in the 400 verses that this body that we have such clinging and fixation to, even though it can be in this way can be our very own enemy, still we must preserve and protect it. And so why is it that Master Aryadeva has said this? It is because when we have attained the human form with the 18 leisures and endowments, this is the very physical form, the very reliance, physical reliance upon which we attain non-abiding nirvana. So we must see the positive side as that as well. So on the negative side, on the faulty side, then it is the basis for our self-cherishing and our clinging attachment. And yet on the good side, then it is the very way that we accomplish virtue. And we've attained what's called the precious human body. The precious human body is an attainment that it is endowed with the freedoms and advantages. And there are other human forms of existence to take, a mere human existence or an ordinary human existence. But this precious human existence is one that we actually use to protect and observe perfect morality. It is through this this precious human body that we can observe perfect morality, and therefore we are then able to have our two forms of clinging to a reality, to break them actually. This clinging to a reality and this self-clinging or self-cherishing. And so therefore, Master Aryadeva has said actually that although it is the basis of our attachment and clinging, it is all like an enemy, we also must protect it because it is this precious human body. And so if we're not listening, so in ordinary human existence, one has not yet met with the Dharma. But a precious human existence, one has met with the Dharma and can practice the six perfections. And this is what we call a precious human form.
Chazan, Mazu Mili Dela, Mili Rinpoche said, Juma Komba, Toka, Susu Maja Mata Jena, Liden Diga Rangi Tangni, Sangi Kuban to the Tubeji Yorba. Tindugala Mone, Rimbuchimone Redua. Rimbuchik Tonta the Sangadua. That's Susu Majana Nizukagarwa. Min Nepaji, any men do layer, any engine do layer, Nepokora Mem Mazana. Neletaya Yomarwa. Takana Jinga, so two sumi Nepare, Maranzo Kanga, two sumi, Numotu sumi Nepare. Numotu sumi Nepadela, any Chichin, Tape, Panan Judo Manruacheni. Menda Masono, Panan Judo Manrua, Yanenje de Menri. Any lam gave singing any Gaur Muchelos of Vatigati Lam Tenkote, Tengende. Dr. Kibas on the Chile. Indigo Lamazo, Panan Judo, Manrocha was a permissible catchmachadi. Around Chinzinda, Denzin, the region want to Manroji, Chewa, the permissible nature machadi.
And so this, what is called a precious human life or precious human form, that which has all of the advantages and freedoms and advantages, and that which also is so difficult to find. It's actually due to this precious human form that we can become enlightened, that we can become Buddhas. It's based on this very form. And so understanding that, then we can understand why it's called precious, right? Everything that leads up to becoming enlightened is this precious human form. So therefore, because we can attain Buddhahood with this, through this vehicle of this precious human life, we can see why it's called a precious human life, because how really, really special and precious is that. But for example, let's say there is a person who's sick, who's ill. And they have a doctor, and there is medicine, but if they don't take the medicine, then they don't become well, actually. They don't heal, and they don't recover from their illness. And actually, we are in the very same situations. We are ill. We are sick with the afflicted emotions, and we're sick with the three poisons, these really poisonous mental states and mental attitudes. And actually, though, there's the medicine. The medicine is the Dharma that is unmistaken in its teaching of what it is that we should practice and what it is that we should not do. And it is unmistaken. And so the practice is like the medicine for we that suffer through the illness of poisonous emotions. And then we have those that are friends along the path, our spiritual teachers and our guides and our gurus and our masters, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, that actually show the path, that teach us what it is that is this medicine of the path. And based on what we learn from our spiritual teachers, our spiritual friends, then we learn what it is that we should adopt, it is that we should discard. And these teachings, this medicine is unmistaken.
Vietnamia Tarea making Songan the Corvares. Leptimi ben Rombosi, Tape Sangi Copande, Matsunyamla Mazina Sangi Copan Legumarwa, Vietnamia. Leptimi ben Rombosi, Rombote Sangi Sadre. Or Tati me ben Nazasi, Numu Tuksungi, Anipe Nazade, Tatayaki, Tukabio Cola, Numola Kundu Mantana, Numu was a town to lend the Grova. Numo town to lending na, that Numonga, Yankur Cola Kikurmato, Jen Tapsi Yomara, Del Taria Tapsi Yomarwa. The Yundu Samtang with the Peninsula Ketchumtua. Jeza, Mazu, Jonkanga Tarawala, Jonkanga Gundutane, and it Tim Tezo Chima, Jin Suneni, Jongang Targudoa. What a 10 I didn't want to Pangan Judo Manoroji. Any Puma Sandenda, Lopo Tesla Gundu Jangwa, the Pemisu Ketchumberdo.
Kari
Puma Samden, Ta Chikmanato Lo Tejiba La Jangwa. Any Dionala was Lopo Tesam Zeta. Tuba Samba Wombati Tiguade. Manora Jiwa, the Permissive Kitchen Chadiore.
And also within the scriptures on the stages of the path, then it said that this samsaric existence is the prison from which we must escape, from which we must gain freedom. And the traveler, the place to travel that we must reach is the stage of Buddhahood. This is the traveler upon the road. The destination is Buddhahood. And what is it? And it's these suffering of the negative emotions and the mental poisons that we must recover from. And so actually we start with the point that we have these negative emotional states, these negative emotions, and we must acknowledge that we're at fault. They're at fault. This is not something desirable. We should find fault in the fact that they arise. and that they are in our experience. Because if we are just accepting of them, if we don't say that, no, this is not good, this is not right, this is an illness, we need to eradicate these. If we don't do that, then we'll put up with them and we'll suffer from them again and again and again, taking birth after birth after birth in samsaric existence. So we must identify them as faulty in order to put an end to them. And then next, as it says in the Lamrim text, this prison that we need to gain freedom from, how do we gain freedom? Well, we take up that unmistaken path, the path that is unmistaken as far as what is to be practiced and what is to be avoided. And we must hold our ethical, our morality, and really, really protect our discipline and our morality on the path while following what it is to adopt and what it is to discard in order to free ourselves from this prison of samsara. And in order to do that, in order to do that, we must continue to do like it is that we're doing. Study the mind trainings. Hear, contemplate, and meditate. This is what we must constantly do in order to gain this liberation.
Any more chanina, any dungan dingenji doa. Tanda dungal in Narjimba chadere, Tanda dungal nyonjimba chadere, Mombanati, Pumputi, Henjene, Jama dungale Nandeng doa. Tindi never lembas, the never lembe pumpo sidoa. What a bit Tindukalo, Guzeme Mare, using Yore. Ko Yaksajin Tana, Pumpo di Pejotane, Luthen di Pejotane, Sangi Copan to Duya. Pumpo ya do such in the Samana, Pumpo Telene, Sepakene, Koroa Korea, Yenchikdoa. Cocho Nigal Tire, the Stashiko, the package.
So we're speaking about also finding fault and seeing the shortcomings in this physical form, in this body. But that's not to say that unilaterally we must say that there is a problem with this form, that it is only bad, because that's not the case. But how do we look at this physical form? Well, first of all, we look at the causes from which this form arose, and this is from the substances from our father and our mother. It has come from our father-mother substances. But now we look in essence. What also is this form? It is the very basis upon which we create the causes of our own suffering. And so there's very much suffering also associated with this form, because based on this form, we have craving and attachment, and then from craving, we have the link of becoming, which leads us to take another rebirth. And so there's a reason we say that we need to look at the shortcomings of this body. And when we look at the cycle like this, we can understand how there are shortcomings based on this body, based on this clinging, and then the cycle that we then proliferate. But also, if we look at the positive side of it, it's from this very body that if we use it well, we can become enlightened. And so on the positive side, we can attain Buddhahood. And on the negative side, it is the very basis for our attachment and our craving, and then our taking on another form, aggregate form, in rebirth.
단대 lui 대당 lui 야보 디나 심점만 던제 두도 lui 상기 산로야지 보 말했다 심점만 던제 두야도 lui 디도네 lui 디니지 마토나 가버르다 심점생기 던제 두야제데 빼 가버려
Luten mena.
오 나랑도 미 lui 미 레바던데 왜 lui 메나 심점생기 던제 두야제데 빼 가버려
And actually, especially in particular, in having obtained a human form, again, speaking about the great positives of having this human existence, actually through having a human form that comes endowed with intelligence, the quality of human intelligence allows us to be able to do good in the world. It's what allows us to be able to serve humanity and to benefit others. Without the quality of human intelligence, we would not be able to do that. So in particular, on the positives, to have a human existence and human intelligence also is like no other.
trobo yani gabo nyebo yani pama nyenyenel tendele mebe seba kena yang dungal jingyorwa wata ti ndomya de sungore chapa cha miriba tela ni be seba che miriba de sungore.
And yet it is really called, we have deemed it like this pit, like this prison of clinging. And that's because also based on our relationships, based on people that we're close to and have feelings for, based to our friends, our fathers, mothers, and our relatives. If we have clinging and attachment towards them, what we're using this body for is accomplishing. It's just like a prison of clinging and attachment. This ignorant clinging and attachment, it becomes the basis for that.
What that? Sholoka sumchu suji badredwe. What that? Luin linji puchunga linji kipi sharita. Jide susun geguna zawajenda chiji meresi. Tati karela gore. Maranzo ta susi ta kiyundigala page lui nyamdo gerwa lui di gerwa lui de nyamdo gerwa. Tidan tama susu kedi wada lui da nyamdo gerwa.
Really?
What the kiyundigala tindewe shada riba eni lui de yang Maumadan dalde doyare is. Tindin dalden rogo doyajinza, tamatijan doyajire, tindin zashiang susutondu girida pa pentotona pala pentoje di jegwade inade chashinjini sebajini lunganyoe gula tindi tangyo mare se tela wata.
Oh, lasso. And so now we'll pick up in our text, and again we're in the Way of the Bodhisattva in the 8th chapter, where we pick up on verse number 31, which reads, "This body now so whole and integral, this flesh and bone that life has knit together will drift apart, disintegrate, and how much more will friend depart from friend?" And so in this verse, what we should understand is when we take a birth, we come into this life with this physical form. We're born together with this body. And yet this very body that we come into the world with, this body of flesh and blood and bones, we will also part with at the end of our life. We'll part with this very body, and we'll part from our near and dear ones, from our parents and our relatives. And so yes, in this lifetime, it is very helpful and beneficial that we have these relationships, and our friends and family, loved ones and parents, they help us very much, and that's a very good thing. But yet what we should understand and what we should avoid is to attach to those relationships, to really, really become attached and dependent upon those relationships. That's what we must really guard ourselves, is from clinging fixation to those people and relationships.
때문에 삼로 문에 따라란 내상 따라란 rewa. 타마 맞아 수지나 로 우투나 로 yan대요. 될란데 그 수지요 말와. 그래서 때문에 뭐 로망 보신데나 전부는 사자고는 충다래. 로와 데니는 내요 말에 듣고 이거였는데. 데니 인도가 강 데베 갑텔라 문이 개발라 프로스규네 수수 기보 대보 참보 제니 여베 갑텔라 참보 야보지 동아께 켄도민 좀 만주지 아니 또 셈 랑진진 도미야당 차신 도미야데 시부지께 침보 자리요.
디친진 딘진
차신도 다 딘진당 랑진진네데 다 작바당 대주강가 너차당 공동하게 때도 된디 띵이 땡진이 깨러와. 아마베랑 zem버즈베 딘진데 야 중마데 랑진진게 때배 치다르탄 피타르 탄거래 야르 탄거래 에네 랑진진 피타보치 거래 랑진진 슈추모 용엘라 콘트도 배 주리리 기거 피타보 랑진진 지점 슈추도 콘트도 깨나 양 텔리페 슈추모 용거 말다 개발이야 딘진 딘진 왕게 콘트 깨나야 합지 깨르마도 양 코란진진 매는 진진진 제용도가라 배 콘트 슈추모 용거 말 콘트라서 봐 뇽문 간디지나
알았어.
딱고 뇽문 딘진 마방 버도 뇽문 게 빵투야미도 딘진 빵라 통음 톡고도 딘진 군다 통파레 랭기타니 곰람니마 빵도고라 다 듬바 멘제니 다 빵야레 링이 와도 있잖아 뭐다 되게 딩마도 단단히 가서 때 삼루당과데 배 람드 공디 빵디야도 균도 삼루당과데 뺏게 쳐버렸다 아다 도 수지 삼루당 투비나 셈 자침보 셈 르르 애니 셈나 빵지 뒤투비나 코 내치게요 말더니 다 수수 제의 휘다보지 제인다 디부댕 그 휘다보지 용해와 디불레와 갸 오마라란징 경고래 맞은 디부디 전부지라와 갸 제의 콜로지 연디가라다 용해요 말와
And so it's very, very true. We can look in our own experience that it does come about like that, actually. Those that we keep company with, even if we keep company with them for a very, very long time, it's not like they will be around, forever. We have people that can live up to about 100 years old, and maybe sometimes a little bit more. But if we look around the world, it's not much more than that. If it were much more than that, then it would be just kind of a very crowded, our population, it would be a very crowded world. But we do have these relationships that we are involved with. And we need to work with them in a way that within our relationships, these are the basis for virtuous action, virtuous deeds, for us to be harmonious, for us to be kind and gentle and harmonious with each other. We don't want to use these relationships as a basis for suffering, a basis that creates our suffering, the suffering of ourselves and the suffering of others. And the suffering really comes from, we experience suffering based on the fact that we have self-centered attitudes, or we really cling very strongly to a reality. And that's really the case if we think about it. If we think about our mother, for example, or someone very, very special to us as someone very solid and real who will always be there. If we hold this kind of an understanding, then this is the cause of our anger, of our hatred, of afflictive emotions, be it self-cherishing or really buying into a true reality. This is where it all comes from us really seeing things as true and real. And actually, when we get really good at that, actually we get to the point where we're so good at it, we could say that, you know, we have perfected it. We've become so good at it. But actually all that we get from it are afflictive emotions. That's all it buys us, is afflictive emotions. Until and as long as we have any fixation to a truth and reality, any notion of a true reality, we will have afflictive emotions. And it's not until we reach the path of seeing that we have abandoned afflictive emotions, that we no longer have afflictive emotions. We are no longer clinging to a true reality the way we used to cling to a true reality. And then at that point, we continue to progress up the stages where we reach the path, work on the path of meditation and so forth, and that path of habituation, really strengthening this attainment and progressing up the stages of the path. And so the instructions on of the Dharma path that teach us what it is to abandon, we should pay close attention to that and make sure that we are working to abandon those things, such as we have said here. We need to abandon egocentric, self-clinging attitude, self-charity, and we need to abandon this fixation and notion of a true reality in our existence. And if we're able to do this, as we're doing this, what happens is the mind becomes very open and very, very vast, because we're abandoning that which has kept it bound and narrow. And now we become very, very open. Now we can say we're perfecting the good qualities. We now have authentic qualities that come from abandoning these two faults of self-cherishing and clinging to reality. Now we have perfected this quality of being, and what happens actually is a really, really wonderful and positive result. And so because we have such authentic qualities, we now gain an authentic result. But it's important to know that we don't seek to gain this result. We don't look for any fruition. We just do it because it's virtuous and because it's right and because it's good. And naturally, actually, we will accomplish that result naturally, and a very authentic result. If not, if we place our hopes in doing it for result, actually, we will not get the result.
Wada sumchu sunyi padege te captain de sigorda captain sungware. Pe misibe ti ke chimbo jirata. Kina jibu keguchin. China tingi jichi des. Zungap kajen milena. Gechen zawe jichi chas. Ta karla gore. Mazu mi niche sinde. Kya gotu ya kya dero. Kya nimode jamba tro chegen midwa. Pama ta katinchen der mado jamba tro chegen roba tege ngoshe to tro che homarwa. Tama ni
kepa kapso e.
Kepa kaplo. Ran jibu here de. 그 던지지 깨래. 아니 치디가라 양tellige yo mare ajan chegele nam ke dana te din rochochore mado troputia midoa. 자웅시티야 믿어. 데이tillar. lungal kal진 밀는 아스. 다 딘데 인디가라 디갑라 lungal 데니 다 tropu 니보 차바 갈소래. 차강 계지 차바 계사게 답에 좀 무시되게 디바네 고세게요 말이스. 거의 디바케로 지금 말이스. 이게 와체가는 게 지그래니 딘디 자우지 딘디 tropu지 가르치 거래스. 딩고네 차분도와.
And now verse number 32. Alone we're born, alone we come into the world, and when we die, alone we pass away. No one shares our fate, and none our suffering. What need I have of friends who hinder me? And so, what are we, what is this saying here basically? When you come into this world, of course, your mother is there, the one from whom you're born is there, perhaps your father is there, they attend your birth, but basically you come into this world alone. And when you die, although there may be an attendant at the time helping you through this process, you die alone. And this is something that no one can avoid. This is something we cannot change. At the time of your death, there's no one who is going to come along with you. And at the time you're born, no one comes with you. You are born alone. And you think about all of the ups and downs of this life, this suffering of the lives, the high points and low points, no matter how close your loved one or how close your friend, there is no one that actually you could, if you have accumulated negativity, you can't divide that up and dole it out, dole a share to all your friends. They can't share in it. And the same with, be it suffering or virtue that is accomplished. We can't take that which we accomplish and divide it between those we love and give it to them, nor they to us. And so our suffering at this time is our own. All of our deeds and karmas that we have accumulated, they are our own. And so this is really put so succinctly and so clearly, isn't it?
족보세는 망체 창통으로 담아통으로 오다 바에 네바사로 족보다 오늘 거야 믿어. 딘디지레도 아마제 코로나 족보생인데 총ገብ로 다 담아통으로 네다통으로 아니 창통으로 다 딘디게 디 남인데 오세게요 말에 룽알다랑 인용 거래 지보 인용 거래 tropu wanga tropu nyebu inzir gopse gaya ni yo mare de gangla tichu chada lewa che tichu chada thola tane e lewa che lang ge chingi de de tropu je da tropu yang da ba je mi do de samdana ma zo ra chogu do de kuni ma zo zab zab che ko da yun do.
And so here it says that no one shares our fate, and what needs have I of friends who hinder me? And, we think about whom we associate and how we spend our time with them. And if we think about friends that maybe they're friends that want to go out and have a drink or maybe smoke together, in the end, when there's a suffering result from the end of that, is that something they share in? No. Actually, that's something oneself will have to bear and experience all on one's own. And for the most part, if we think about samsaric friends, what kind of things are they really interested in doing? Going out and shopping or going for drinks or maybe smoking, drinking beer, something like this. And afterwards, who is it? Again, can we give part of that suffering or difficulty that might come from that away? Are they going to share that part with us? They're not. Actually, we're going to experience that all on our own. And not only that time that we spent doing that with those kinds of friends, with those activities, then we have wasted our time because we have not spent it in virtue. And so if you think about it, you know, for spending our time with companions like that, they are not true friends and not real friends. So you must be very, very careful. Please be very cautious about this.
공단은 무지 중요하래. 공단 잠배양서대 라마 개발지 중래 공원송래 리조 이제 라진 민중진스 리페토 보스인데 고라고 여버지요 말했어. 리조 이제 라진 민중진 제진 펜베 졸진 좀되네. 레라조에 리페토 집에 고에는 이제 홍지 항상 송래. 아, 이 가르라고 하래. 리페토 보스인데 고라고 집에지요 말했어. 카닌 잠보시 아니 지 제모 제절 내가 제절라 네바사 주구야나 디리피토 보레다스 디 나좀 고나나 렘상 멘자 메아조구로와 어땠는지 텐데 리피토 보데 메아조고레스 소소 대단 디부진데 요 말레스
라소 디라기 디기 드라와 카리요레
수승 고나나 렘상 고나이 나자데 따탑지그로와 어때나 신체네 리비토보데 메아조고레스
라소
고에네 진리시 뭐가 장한 다양 고에네 얘나 단다 고르 와레스 존데지나 디 와레스요겐 미에상가 좀 누구미도 가든 공고용에 니가요와 자자 디파사에게 자주데 라나 망고베 제과데 빼미스베 개치 붙자디요 오두스젠 삼다나디고래 양 고나나 멘자는 빵나진체네 리피토포데 페데가 칼레 메즈고레스 빵구레스 리피토포데 년도 로기오 마레스
라소 디스토포도 디 고나나 데네
맨마사나 타구마르와
Really?
Men could trial a menzagora. What at the Naji could Ribasani Mandana proposed Pangji Meazogormado. The mother could younger Ribasad Legora. What did it?
And so Gontang Rinpoche has said, and I will paraphrase here as I don't have the exact translation, is that if you have a headache, then right away you must look to be rid of it. And in order to be rid of it, then immediately you must take the appropriate medicine. And so how does that correlate with what we're speaking about here? That is, if we have companions who are a bad influence on us and with whom we actually get into trouble or are not doing virtue or doing something non-virtuous, actually, this is going to cause us suffering later on. So the best thing to do is as Gontang Rinpoche has said, is right away take the medicine, which means to really separate yourself from them. And if you can't immediately separate yourself from them, what you can do is put the steps into place that will start to distance yourself so that slowly you can abandon negative friends, just like you would want to be rid of a headache.
가제 딕페 트로포드는 돈 로나 딕파사야지 거래. 에게 트로포든 로나 랑기 융아 있는데 칼레 개와 기르고래. 에게 트로다 디도 인제시와데 뺏게치 모래.
So we need to differentiate between those people that we keep company with. And because when we're with negative people, then we will commit negativity. And yet when we go with our virtuous friends, then slowly, all of the activities of body, speech, and mind become very transformed into virtue. And so we must differentiate between those different types of friends.
다 karma 주지 참제게.
So shall we take a 5 or 10 minute break here, everyone? We take a break.
Yeah. Yeah, 다 강가 lesson.
Okay, is everyone back?
Yeah,
Maybe
다
everyone. Maybe.
숨주 숨바대기. 다 가르라 그러잖아. 그래. 다음은 저 균도 삼당해야 돼. 즉 하게 눈부당 숨바 삼당 와야지 숨과래. 단진시다 지기어 말다 배 미다버버 또 미다버 삼당 와도 배 미스베 침버에서 숨과 돈달라.
맞어.
angarazo jongan min duban roti kala jongan de ngein sambata tin namya chergu marwa jongan ko nimachi bechetan tenin roshaerwa oda yundu pe rawa ga chimbo magya rawa magya jena ni pe susu chede fita boche gore ani tindiji samtang sa ji suguarta.
So here we pick up on verse number 33 that again use the example of a lodger or someone who's journeying on the road and the place of lodging. So someone who's, traveling on the road is always remembering the temporariness, the fleetingness of these experiences and the stays. For example, they may check in to a guest house or a little inn for a night or two, but because they know that it's kind of not a permanent situation, it's impermanent, it's not a permanent situation, therefore there's no great hope or any fixation to that place of staying.
Jubanam, Chiltanene, Lamjuam, given and Yonson, what a tingo. Maranzo Lamla Judicala, Peggy, Drunkande, Susong, Sambajata, Unikigomar, Tena Jinchene, Chawa Kande Jina, Rewachimbo Gavgomar. Kanchi, Dibu the Tubala, Judifi Tabuko war, Judifi Tabuda, Rangi, the one doing Rewa Pitapo. Yang tapa, then this chick wares. Dichibaina go Yusopal and take a Bajisu Boba kind dancer. Namdenana, Yusopal take a bus. Yusopa Tangsona, Dibu Michael do two mares.
Yutsopa.
Oh, you sounds in Sona, Dibu Michael do two mares.
Oh, lasso.
Dibu Maki Sigmaris. Chasa go out around. Susamaje, Roachambo again, Jamadin Dibu Matuna and him Jovachin Chagdo. What are they paying Kachambertang? So you do some of the Ranga Chadi, Jorun Jusun Sawa, Pitapo, young Tapache, what the Pemisu Kachamber. And then Tanzin Shida Mareta, Ko Moon Yurguyoba, Pe Ketchiki Minji, but Tanabe Midabatara to something with the Pemisu Kachamachadiata.
Okay, lasso ani di lamdral nangla karinala lamdral di namdral
lovin chugitapa dharma kritiki namdal parmana karike chawanare.
And so Actually, we should really take an example from this and look at our situations just like a place that we're stopping by. Just we're stopping for a while. Holding this in our minds, then also we won't get greatly attached or fixated on any of the details of that. And therefore, if we want an authentic and perfect, excellent result, we must put into play the excellent and perfect conduct in order to do that. And so if we want pleasantness and happiness and good situations, which would be this excellent, perfect result, then we need to have excellent and perfect conduct, which means to be very virtuous, very authentic, and really stick to excellent morality, stick to the perfection in the details. And Dharmakirti has said in the Namdrel that if one has accomplished the cause, even if one does not desire the result will come. And it's because if you have put into play the excellent causes, then even you cannot want something to happen, but the fruition will come. As we're saying, this authentic and perfect result comes from authentic and perfect conduct. And so what does it mean when we say authentic, perfect conduct? This means we're doing good deeds and creating as much virtue and trying to accomplish well-being for others and so forth. But we're doing that without any hopes, without any wishes for something in return for ourselves. If we're doing it for ourselves, the natural, excellent result will not mature. It will not come to one. And so when we're looking to that detail that we said we must pay attention to excellently accomplished virtue and perfectly accomplished, it means without hopes and concerns and so forth. And so also with the activities that one is doing, one should make sure that one is doing it excellently and making sure that you are including these three excellent stages of the preparation and the main action and the finalization or the perfect conclusion. These actually, all three parts of that should be really, really excellent. And what this means also is we should be completely free from any kind of self-concern or coming from the orientation of egoistic attitude or any true solid belief in a self. That's what we needs to be free from. And we should really imbue our minds constantly with what we started with here, with the momentariness of this, that this is just like a stop, that this is fleeting, that this is not permanent. We should always, always keep that in our minds.
Yeah, that Mio Kepardelata, Kepatenji Badam, any embatembe pines the subject Nietzsche wore. That
Empadam.
Kepatenjiba, Kepa, Gavishing in Mepe Lam Yuji, Kepa Jitangures, and in the Enbe Embe Pine the Sungore. Nibata Tato. Kepa embatembe bas, ta susu, yani susu lojonji de kepa chasona, yani embatenjea, emba, ne embala sona, any pe nyanjea the day to sunguar.
Sumchu so sume.
Subji marve.
Subshipa.
Oh, subjipa dimba.
Okay, did we read 33? Tene paucherna injitone sosum logore.
Oh, lamni jubanam gini, chidadini, tim, what the law, yaresha.
And so now in verse number 33, like those who journey on the road, who pause and lodge along the way, beings on the pathways of existence seize upon the lodging of their birth. And so there's two sections here, or two subjects, main points of subject that we're looking at. And one of them is to rely on a master, rely on someone who has great knowledge and mastery of the path, and also of relying on solitude and going to a retreat place to put this into practice.
다 가르쳐래. capacity 가 수수 로종제네 지라. 때 공원 디셰바다. 지 공원 자르셰바 된지 구고와.
야포콜츠마서.
capacity 가 수수 로종제 지 공원도 디셰바 지 공원도 투마주제 냠nempe 림바진 지셰야긴데 차용들라 다 개바 잡아래.
라서.
디마이나 때 지지 지라 터제니 용공 디마시나 데 개바 차고 말해. 개바데 야 간지 치라 개바지고 와래. 냠는 제기 치라 배 공원 디셰바 공 지고 배 고양다 발렌싱인지 그거 와래.
라서 디 카플라 아니 나토 소소 개바디 나토 소소 소소레
수수 로종제네니 치라 개바자네니 근데 개바자도나 다 엠바텐지리 엠바텐이다 냠는 수수 딩절레그와.
And so when we speak about someone who is expert or who is a master of the path, this is something that we can attain through our own study. It is when oneself studies the path but just doesn't leave it at studying the words of the Dharma, the words of practicing the path. One then makes the connection to practice, actually takes up and puts these instructions into practice. And through gathering practice or through engaging in practice, gathers this experience. And through experience, one gains mastery and understanding of all of these words and learnings that they've heard. So it's about hearing and listening and studying, but then practicing it. Once you yourself have reached that stage and where you've put the instructions into practice and gained some experience, you are that master. And now you yourself then can retreat to a solitary place to take all that you've heard and into taking that which you've heard and now making a connection into your own experience where you can sustain that in a solitary place. And so what's important here is that it's not just the words, but practice and practice comes and experience is gained. That's what one really needs is the experience.
대소다. 지생군은 누진도 지세 히부 이니 델린 데니 마테파 디시투는 나수송스타 말아서 미지감보 로종제네다 로종제네 냠네 마제나 펜도요 말와 다 냠네 딘디기 로종제네 아니베 마치 곤달라 아니베 마치 곤달라 아니베 둥을 타려야 돈달라 아니 뇽몽빵야 돈달라 언타베 냠닌제나 아니베 딘디제야라 아니 네 엠바텐데 나트 야네 엠바 아니베 답에 가게 그사 도대게나 수나진 네미 개발돼서 시바진 데니 취용세 사자자네 아니 텔레손에 아니 냠닌제야데 개침보레세 순고하다데.
Now verse number 34, about that place. until the time comes round when 4 men carry me away amid the grief of worldly folk. Till then I will away and go into the forest. And so for us now, we ordinary people on the path, what we need to do is we really need to study the instructions. But if we simply study the instructions and then don't practice them, it's not of any benefit. So we need to study them and we need to practice them before we up and retreat into one of these places. What is it that we need to study and learn? We need to understand how it is that we free ourselves from suffering, how it is we free ourselves from afflicted mental states. This is what is to be practiced. And if we really want to practice this excellently, then we really need to go to a solitary place, to a secluded and quiet place, or as perhaps to the forest. And just like in the ornament of the sutras where we were talking about earlier, that really list, for example, how to pick the excellent place and the excellent friend and provisions to bring and so forth, we follow all of those instructions and then we retreat to this solitary place where we can engage in practice.
Disitunda nasu sonsi de galata mashi kongla any be nyanen chegores lobjon chebet kotonde rangi shigule jarne nyomondul tap la ta jartuba ji gugores sungwarta ta kuto nyomon dulia la kyenjana injimi nan roe omara ta nan rogungi pe dijimgi kyenjege na tati kanzate nal rogure saja embala 두징이 견제게나 사자 엠발레테 두징이 랑긴 두징이 견 용어면은 녀몽 둘리하게 탑잖나 마시 콘라 냠니 쳇두고야나 제조 인지민진 로가예요 말했을라노 단 두징이 견쟁에도 좀 사자 엠바텐 거한테 빼미스게 쳔버래 당보 요한라 두징 루인 두징게 엠바테 빼미스게 쳔버 차리요래
And so that's about the place that we go. I will go away into the forest. But what's really important, we have until these 4 men carry me away. And what this means is from now until the time of my death, until I die, I will practice. I will put into practice that which tames the afflicted mind. I will go and practice that to tame my afflictive emotions. And so here it says that we go into the forest or we go into an isolated place. And this is because in the beginning, busyness, all of the hubbub of life and busyness around us distracts us away from our practice. Now, if this were not the case, if one were at a level where this busyness and all of the hubbub around one didn't bother one or interfere at all, then there would be no reason to go away and retreat. Because if you're already in the place where afflictive emotions don't arise through all of this busyness and all this worldly things, then that's fine. You don't have to go somewhere special to practice. But while we're beginners and still at the point where we become distracted or afflicted with busyness and ordinary things that surround us, we should go and find retreat. We should retreat from those kinds of places into a very solitary, quiet place without all of this busyness.
오다 MB 파인들라 양 subject 숨치기도 냥은이 누아메 바스 그게 초미냥 바스 되니 라니 엠바텐리 바즈의 숨치기가 다디 가정아서 쇼로가 입주 쟁아바데 데레다 쟁아바데 다 집주에 숨주성아.
알았어.
이게 다 냥은이 농함에 봐. 다다디 딜 레거. 다 엠바테나 엔딩 엠바테나 케퍼 파인 가려래. 펜도 가려래. 케벤지 구고라. 어떻게 케벤들 숨여래 라버다.
알았어.
수소 애니베 냥은데 녀몽은 전 녀몽이 땡진의 동안 미기에 반지 열애스. 아니 그게 애니베 개와꾼도 펠그레스. 엠바테나 되니 수소에 되니잖아 애니베 수소 엠바템베 냠용지담 디펜더진 용그레스. 야보도 와대.
냠뇽.
냠용을 인도.
라서 데네 디 펜윤 당포 디
당보대 당보대 디르다.
냠뇽 당 두냐?
냥은 누아서 메바스 냥은 시다. 다 가르잖아. 심에 콤베 메제나 륜디 지부 엔네데스 나네 시당 자티나 신의 냥은 메바 데바메스 지바메스 숭도아 다 나라도 엠바타나 거기 나셈나라 차강해야기 때문에 히스 롱엠바 요마로와 차강기스 롱엠바 멘자 너바제다 제도야단 때리기 뉴몽케 사텐디 요마레스 아니 수수 류지보 수수지보랑 엠반데 인도 된디체사요 말데 인디가라 아니페 뇽몽 겐제니 엔 차단게도 동알게 했더니 땐자완이요 말이스 된디가라 답에 년당 다트조 아니페 torje 수수지보 내 인자 아니 지가 동알게하게 시사요 말이슬라 버다
And now in the next section, we look at what are the benefits of going to a solitary retreat place to practice. It said that there are three main categories of benefits, and actually if we're going to retreat somewhere, we should understand. So what is it? What are the pros? What's the profit here? What is gained by going to a solitary place? And it is said that these three, in number one, is that the source of the impetus that has the afflictive emotions arising is non-existent. So one doesn't have the triggers, that which triggers one into afflictive emotions and therefore suffering, that is eliminated in a solitary place. Also, going to a solitary place to practice one's virtuous activities further and further increase. They just grow and grow. And then thirdly, sumpati gewa kompa.
당보대 저기 다 당보대 로사로와 다 님바데 거기 초 민년바데 다 님바데 연구하래. 숨주수루 바데기.
올라서.
엠베니 템바이나 아니 다 거기 초 님그 말했어. 다들 숨주수루 바데기 중고하래.
올라서. Yeah, these are okay.
Yeah.
And so if we are in an isolated place, then we will not be inclined to have negative thoughts or thoughts of maliciousness or ill will, because the sources of our attachment and our aversions aren't there. And so these harmful thoughts don't arise because we haven't brought these we're not with these people, we are staying alone. As we are alone, then those that usually trigger us or that we're engaging with, where these thoughts come about, aren't there. And so therefore the cause of our suffering isn't there. We have abandoned left behind any of our negative companions, and we are all alone. And it's said that these negative companions are the very source of the arising of our suffering. And so we are not there with them. We are alone. And the next verse that we look at correlates with this second category of our virtue further and further increasing. And so here we pick up in verse number 35, where it says, "There with no befriending or begrudging, I will stay alone in solitude, considered from the outset as already dead, thus when I die a source of pain to none."
다 숨주 수주보다보다 그외초 미념심 펠기레스 다 대시 숨고래.
Now in
루다경 엠베 네데기 파인시가 왔다. 두나 콤바 수다경 냥은 밤 제메베스 니니 상게 제전소 수익경 양월 유아메스 다 가르서나 엠바센나 이 년당 달라서 받던데 수지 요마르와 때때나라 랑치부 인디가라 애니페 거투이나 너바적에 메디가라 애니페 거투이나 상기라 애니페 상기 지수템바 애니 람라바숨라 냠는제야 오다 두스제네 애니페 타르바다 탐제 김베 람 곰발라 디스베 양양도 두스젠디가라 뒤쳐 예츠데네 개비 초순 누구레스 애니 가와데
tarpadang konda tarpadang
타르바다 탐제 김바
tamchikemba.
오 람곰바 오다 되게 진데디가라 애니 가와 콘콘도 펠기레스.
And now verse number 36 really backs this up, how our going away to retreat our practice and our virtue will just further and further increase. And so in verse number 36, it says, "And likewise staying all alone, the sound of mourning will not hinder me, and no one will be there distracting me from thinking of the Buddha and the practice." And so we've gone there. We're alone. We're not with our friends. We're not with our foes. We're not with those we get along well with or those we don't. We are just alone. And thus, our mind simply continues to turn to the level of Buddhahood, to the enlightened Buddhahood state, and to the three trainings on the path. So practicing the three trainings on the path. So we have set ourselves up in this so that we have the conditions so that we are constantly just turning our attention so that we're focused on the path, we're focused on Buddhahood, we're focused on virtue. And now we're practicing those points and we're actually habituating them, like the path of habituation, where we're really familiarizing and habituating. And due to this, we are further and further developing in our spiritual practice.
다 subject sumpadre sumju sodu subdumbade tena rangi embassen ribas teni de guzen teni inzana embassen na tenji gris karzana teni devi shindu dangkawes na chal chichu dekichin yamba tamje jijebe rangi chibune barcha ase sungdoa tat teni indigala ngazo gewa comprendendem ani che yongena 펠린자 아니 초아다 때문에 제 중이 더는 예 라서지 당분 zel기로와 엠베네데 초아다 같이 시작해 먹어 타녀보라 여서지 나살때 되는지 잘 거다. 네디 너데게나 열와. 어다 되는지지. 아니 내단 되는 미포야. 아니 추실고 야보여서 중고 treasure 룽다 대즈베 칼룽도 중고 treasury 야보 영인데 나살 되는지 잘 거라. 어다 되는지 주나 되니베 다 수수 가르쳐 버려. 진리 나살데 수소 계절 야부 연구에서 다티 수술을 배 최주비알라 튕긴 약속들이 라브래.
So, Geshe la di dunsen ni sum di wempa tenya ki penyon ki sumpa yapo di dondak
Rani emba ten ribas, emba the ten ribas, emba the tembalik penyo ba pentoyo ba nyamyung ki orwa.
Oh rikpa.
Oh ten riba.
Oh rikpa.
Ten pentoyo ba.
Oh la so. And now the next verse, verse number 37, we come to the third point, or the third point to look at of the benefits of going into a solitary retreat. And this third looks in particular at the benefit of the particular place that one chooses to do their practice. And so verse number 37, therefore in these lovely gleaming woods with joy that's marred by few afflictions, I shall pacify all mental wandering and there remain in blissful solitude. And so we've now gone to this solitary place. And it's a place, so what benefits are gained from this? What is the benefit of this? It's a place that, as we said in the last point, our virtue further and further increases. We become more focused in virtue and we become more developed in our experience of that practice. So our virtue is increasing. Our Dharma practice is increasing. And we're in a really wonderful place of practice. And so a really great feeling actually arises due to this. It's really very, very special. We create a situation that is very, very special. And as it said, when we pick this place, the place itself should be very special. It should be a very careful and clean place. It should be a place where to get one's provisions doesn't cause one much difficulty, so you can get your provisions and those things you need relatively closely, like if you were to need water or food. And if you're near water, it should be really, really clean water. And you should choose a place that has, really clean air too, so away from any air pollution. And so, and close to that which promotes those things you need to promote your practice, which means promoting virtue. And as the entire purpose is now being fulfilled, that you are creating virtue, virtuous practice, this is why it's said to be so, so beneficial to go to a place like this.
So, 남ing zeta da ngo censo choya ze zonji da changtongya zo zonji da de denji ni da yun da zhugu ara 남ing 제가 다 엠베는 데니 남ing 디 그림이도 아니 차자 거기 절다인자 답에 denji 이 엠베니데 tenna pe yuzendu tenrigidu se la bortangone.
And so this is really looking logically, using logic to understand the benefit of isolating oneself. And what we're isolating ourselves from is we're isolating ourselves from distractions and the things that usually distract us. And that may vary, but for example, we're away from, bars and restaurants and places we might just go to have some frivolous fun and so forth. There's none of that. Actually, all there is the practice. So we can really immerse ourselves in the direction or in the practice of virtue and the practice. We can get completely immersed in that because that's what the benefit of being in an isolated place. We're isolating ourselves away from busyness and distractions and these other things that might just kind of steal away our attention.
Sumchu subject bade. Kaje Gawala Zumbardan Bas, in the MB Nela Sonde, Cardinal Gawala Zungures, that Dambas Gala, Kuja gave us Zorijua. Gawala Zumbardamba, Gawala Zumbardambas, Gawala Zungures is the Gawar.
Dampa.
Or Dambas the Kuluachevata.
Lasso.
Or that the Cardinal Tiri. Adama Sigidua. Odati tiri. Samba jin kundan des. Ta dala samba chibui semne nyambar jachita. Tular chijin sombar cha zedigala. Ta jidengi ta ngaranzo trogre. Ani jiden bechawa tamje luetane ne embasong ne sigore. Dala samba chibui ta Cardinal Simjin Jengi Tunjia, the Janjuki Sem Gomia, Chibu Gomiadan, Gawachi la Nyamberja, Nipe Ludengome, any Numun Fande, and Nipe send the Truach, the Tendeleton Gures, Tonyade. Takumani, Janjuki Sem, Yan Yandu Sam Diary, and Tongito Tawa, Tegiti, Yan Yandu Sam Telepe. Doing Tajunata Telata Zenchuchitan Yomarizati, Kiche Gures is Ngore. Janjuki some the Shibuket Tajamburido.
And so we are isolating ourselves and going into a retreat area, an isolated area to focus on one thing and one thing only, and that is the mind of bodhicitta, really focusing and immersing ourselves in the mind of bodhicitta, as it says, relinquishing all other aspirations. That means other than bodhicitta. Bodhicitta should be our sole focus. And then secondly, focusing on abandoning and taming our afflicted minds, as it says here. And so here in this verse is a verse that is very inspirational. It's really inspiring us into being diligent to work towards virtue. This sacredness of striving in virtue. This particular verse is really inspiring us to go and urging us to do this, urging us to really leave these worldly concerns behind and take our body to a place where our only concern is to focus on bodhicitta and to meditate and focus on emptiness increasingly and only these, keeping these in our mind, knowing that I'm inspired to do no other than this, because in an isolated place, there are no other distractions. This is our sole purpose. And actually, bodhicitta is really so precious, isn't it? And now we have set the conditions where we can focus solely on this bodhicitta, and also I will strive to still my mind, calming it, to bring it to subjection.
Tati shita ke chimbu chadiyore. Dina semni nyambar ja chirtang tulwar chachi zombar chazada. Semni nyambar ja azade semde palchata gunzo chanchuki semdang tondam chanchuki sem niga tinlegiyore. Ta gunzo chanchuki semde sidugala ta ngazu yundu chanchuki sem seyaderwa. Semjen jingi toncheyade. 돈담 장주기 셈디 취탐제 내루 들어와. 내루도 또 발라 손음락 첨부지 마사나 내루도 또 두고 말해. 가버려. 손음 사야라 다 장주기 셈을 라바지 장주기 셈 고메야 라바지 손음 사야 그 답시 전다 균이 요 말해. 제자 장주기 셈곰 디 겐제네니 동이도벨 따와 율이 깨와 동이도벨 따와 율이 깨서나 난지 머리밤 땐니메와 뚱진 두고라 땐니메와서 두고라 디 야보도 와테 디시고라 인교 뱀민시부게 점을다 맞아 냠네 뭐마데 때 두고라 다디 디 아버지요 나가 냠는 데니 어요마르 데마다 나가 냠는 가보래 돈담 잔주기 셈당 군소 잔주기 셈니라 삼루지 콜마 두고 나가 냠는 지긴잖아 딱배 가버다 지사대 띵이래 단 뺏게 상계가 답람 연애면 아니래 딘디들라다 맞아 리우땅부배 양양도로 와야 게 전부 다 전주기 셈 연애면다 리우땅분 시행도
This verse, we stop to pause because it's very, very, really incredibly important. There are some key and crucial points and things that we should understand here. As it says in verse 38, relinquishing all other aspirations, focusing myself on one intent alone, I'll strive to still my mind and calm it, to bring it to subjugation. And so this striving to still my mind, calming it and bringing it to subjugation, basically what this means is the very crucial point, and the very crucial point of bodhicitta. And here in our practice, in this where we have retreated to this isolated place where we practice actually both forms of bodhicitta. We have the relative bodhicitta where we focus our intent on the purpose of others, accomplishing the benefit of others. And then we have the ultimate bodhicitta, which is actually realizing the true and the ultimate a way of abiding, really the ultimate truth. And it's said that without great merit, one cannot actually see the ultimate truth. One will not attain the realization of this ultimate bodhicitta. We must have merit. And actually the single and sole way for us to gain this merit is no other than the mind of bodhicitta, than this relative bodhicitta. And so this relative bodhicitta is very precious, and we habituate it in our retreat practice. And through our practice of generating relative bodhicitta, we come to have the wisdom of emptiness be born. We come to actually realize emptiness, to actually have a perception of emptiness. And it's said that this moment, even this very moment of realization of ultimate bodhicitta, or realizing the ultimate truth, emptiness, actually completely uproots and severs all suffering and all ignorance. And so for that purpose, it is really a very, very crucial point. And outside of retreating to some place solitary where one can solely focus on one's practice, there's no real other way to accomplish the tantric practices, the secret mantra practices. And so it's very meaningful, and that we go away and set ourselves apart and isolate ourselves away from these other things so we can focus solely on relative and ultimate bodhicitta, thinking and practicing of only these. And actually this is the very method of the path of Buddhahood. This is the very method. And so it's for that reason that I'm always mentioning that you go back to read that first chapter. Reacquaint yourself with that first chapter on the benefits of bodhicitta and get re-inspired, because it really is a very, very crucial point.
내 첨보래 오다얀 상이 발전다리 주주 줍든 마게 발전 페이스북 다요라 여름지 급도로 숨준도가 우마린전 타와
라서
리우 땅보디게 몬투비하게 주정하여래
우마린전 사와
우마린전 타와
장와
디
페이스북라
페이스북날 답에 온라인이 여름 다리 주주 줍든 임바요
라서
딘도 견줄 따투나 답에 미시베 펜도여다
라서 아니 줍든라 세바 줍든라 고츠게래 or 싸게래
주주자데 주주도 줍든 다른 일 니면 일래요.
라서 줍둑당 줍든
우마린지 타와게 류 땅보다나 류 지방이
라서
류 지방에 다생냠제 단다 따가서 단다디 야스쯤 지왈라게 전주기 답하게 다생냠제 수야게 쿵데 ngumuludugi 저 우마린지 타와 저셔 난 린지 타와라 와 린지 타와나는 답에 다생냠제 우마 류지변에 숨고래
라서
아니 맞아 셰바당 맞다 싫어시기가 엄마라 여름 숨빼 시부지 nempo 숨그래니 강가 직 온다 주제 개빠 구바지는 거 죽으래
라서
거기 잡펜바인데 니 잡아상케라 니 바자파상 펜바키 그 팔절
오케이 주저 개바 건다 주저 개빠네 구박 파도
어다 거기 저기 주제 개빠는 거 죽고도 아 개빠니 개데 우부디 체가 버도
라서
야갈라
오케이
어디
디 가기도 또 or
대 야르도 있어래 방아서 디 팔절 주저 구바니 구바차가 이게네 내 페이스 마게 페이스북은 팔절 땅에 이게 뒤서던
라서
따당 이 저런 연투나 빼 야버레스 마다 그 냠뇽시라요 말와 여름부터 구도 주비리는 때 냠제나는 냠뇽이래 냠뇽 순디가라 진랩 너그 말다
진랩
용화 요근지기 쉐겨다 용화 맥은 쉐겨 님빼 가가요래
So here, really, this is such a key point, incredibly key point. And also, Geshe-la would like everyone to know that His Holiness the Dalai Lama will be bestowing teaching on the precious garland of the middle way, in particular chapters 1 through 4. And
1 through 말에 chapter 1 단 4니 마도 길망이 되는 거 말에
so chapters 1
chapter 1기 문투 투비 추정하여 대순 거래 문투 투지 라다 미 고방 투비야라 다 추정하여 유 다마소나 정아 대순 거래 아니 류지바되게 다쟁냠지 순 거와 생게데 게 전부 쉬우시래 답에 준주기 딱 쿵조사데 순 거다
So this is going to be, so anyways, not chapter 1 through 4, chapters 1 and 4. This will be on, and he's going to send it to Mark so that you can all see the link. It's going to be taught in Facebook, and it's going to be on the 16th and 17th, so May 16th and 17th. And he believes it will be about 8 to 9 p.m. at night, and but you can look at the link that is sent out. So the first chapter that he will teach on is really concerned with the benefits of attaining a higher rebirth, such as the births in the God realm or in a human existence, for example. And the fourth chapter is of special interest to us here because it correlates with all that, we've been speaking about in the way of Shantideva's way of the Bodhisattva, because chapter 4 is really about the generating the mind and really working with our intention, and in particular gives advices and trainings on exchanging self and other. So really exactly what we have been talking about. And so Geshe said it would be really good if you were able to listen to that. It would be really great. And especially, he said, because he's been making do here with his teachings, but he doesn't terribly have a lot of experience. But if we can get these teachings from someone like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who's been studying for so long, the blessings, there's a big difference with the blessings that you can get from someone else's experience. And so we could all, have these blessings from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, because he has a great deal of experience.
Dalai Lama Dalai Lama Western Pacha Ragara in Ragore.
Kandres Ragare?
Dalai Lama comes at the Tin and Roshana, Dalai Lama website.
Oh, internet la.
Oh, internet.
Oh, okay. Yes. So actually, if you go to His Holiness's main website and search that, look at the main website, then you'll probably also see where you can find that link to watch or to listen. So it's Saturday, Sunday in India. These teachings are set for next Saturday and Sunday in India, which would make it our Friday, Saturday here, likely, Geshe said.
Yeah, that
so we can stop here in the text for now. And what questions do you have?
I have a question, if I might.
Okay.
So at this time, because most of the retreat places are closed, let's suppose that we have an ambition to do a retreat and spend some time in this kind of isolation. Are there any preliminary practices we should engage in while we're waiting for that opportunity to ripen?
Mm-hmm. Ani tengsan ani Geshe-la di samla ani deagi sacha yore te tengsan konso gogyapki yore che tsangatso ki sam deagi wempa dela drodo yonayang tanda ani droya yomare che tsang konso Natso tanda natso gogyapia la gukte yore gukte pe kapsu natso gi ngundro dang drabo gi nyamlen kare chegore.
Tanda susunangde 참강존이지 미점바 용언니 요마르와 수sunangde 엠바 차디요래 미정간 마운디 당원이 왜마데 gemro semken이 연애메나데
Kyamdro semke.
오 gemro semke데 차kin 연애메나데 gemro semke 연나 gemro 제바 연나 아니 람 로발이 개발도 파고래 semke 연나 람 멤버리 개발도 파고 또땡이 이다래 대대간라 님부터지고네 샤바제도 삼단 루스제베이나 단다문에 참 얼마래다 참당 얼마래 저진이 룽바 내암강 미몽보 소견 누구하데 수수제시나 다 수술라 직 가와투비알라 차킨 야부 쉬우지래
So actually right now we have the most concordant factor that we could, which is our own homes. It's a relatively quiet time. There's no one coming and going. We're not coming and going anywhere. We can use a room in our own house. We can use our own house for retreat. And this is, what you should do. The only facility or the only factors that you need, a concordant factor for your environment to have complete, is to have a mind of refuge and a mind of bodhicitta. These are the only things that you actually need. There's no other facilities that you need. These are the concordant factors that you need to have. And, the non-concordant factors are whenever we do something that is not in accord with the path, something that might not be in accord with the Dharma. And if that is the case while we're at home, then we can also practice purification or confession using those 4 powers. So we can do purification and we can do practice at home. This is an isolated retreat. Out there in the world right now, there's danger and there's sickness and there's a very, very harmful contagious disease. And what we can do within our own homes is just turn our mind completely to virtue, make this our isolated retreat, be isolated in virtue in your own home.
대당 아니 다 나는 준데 되가라 도서 차다살 아니 루종로제 요가르제 벤디제베이나 rum보데 양 야부차그러와 대마다 rum보 루싱이 양대 야부 말다
올라서
이 잡잡제 거래 뭐네 맞아 잡잡제 거래 다 차체나 배 판체 뭐래.
So what we can also do to incorporate with our other practices while we're home is we can do our prostrations. And doing our prostrations and some yoga poses, some yoga centering poses, and prostrate. And in doing this, actually, we're conditioning and working with the body in a very positive way of practice. And Geshe-la cautions that this should be our physical activity. We should not be exercising at this time. So not like weightlifting and lifting weights and traditional exercising. He really cautions against this. But it would be okay to be doing prostrations and some yogas. And prostrations, there's so many good qualities and so many benefits actually that come from doing prostration.
Then 우존제의 배야버래. 루르구주제의 우존제의 프라마나테서 되니 이 계속 개발 전부도 라고도 우존제인데서 나사도 포되이나 나사도 양은도 라고도 근데 오늘 우존제의 시부 야버래.
We can also work with our wind energies and do pranayama and so forth. And because when we work with our wind energies and we gain mastery over our wind energies, actually we can also affect our physical health. And there are those that really master the pranayama and wind energies, and even when they get sick, they can actually work with this so they kind of lighten the sickness and actually, make it a little bit easier, on them just through doing this pranayama. So pranayama exercises and practice is also very, very beneficial.
잠니지 미남 짱구로 시라게 펜랍 첨보래 되게 왜 나중 다음에도 냠랭원에 차대요래 아니 파 당두간라 잠비 미바 짤도 된 잠비 미바 깐에 젤라 펜 토선 랑류 론저 게서다 잠바 파밤에 파다는 펜 토선선에 이쯤바지 삼르당 술렌디간라 젠기 동할 때서 배 나르시베 동할 때 삼자 애니베 랑글렘바인 엔 파절레베 동할 메가 차송 다 동할 땡이 키니 애니 나게인 섬데 락섬 리니기 삼무당에 데 빼미시베게 쳔보레 왔다 땡디지 삼무당이나 당원에 가서 낭난되는 데고 쳐버려.
Mm.
데마다 리엠바지 손을 삼때기도 마다나 리엠바지는나 동바로와 지밀스 순도. 줌나 낭난데 그냥 탈바 마튼 링원에 그냥 탈바 매즈 순도.
Oh, slowly, kale.
줌나
Mm.
낭난데 그냥 탈바 밀레.
Mm.
마투 링원에 그냥 탈바 매즈. 링고즈데 링고라 엠바지는 데나 탈바 요 마르스 마투나.
Mm.
탈바 생인데라 가르서 녀몽을 타고 그러와.
Mm-hmm. And so also within the stages of the path, the Lamrim texts, the technique of what's called Tonglen, or sending and receiving, is practiced. And this is a practice that incorporates working with the wind energies and the breath together with the mind of love and compassion, really joining these two. And the benefits of this are really quite incredible. It should never be seen as any small practice. It's really quite a really precious and beneficial practice. And the way we do this is when we are exhaling or breathing out, then we visualize that we are sending out all of our positivity, our wealth, anything good that we might have, anything positive that we might have, all benefit is leaving, we're sending it out on our exhalation, and it reaches all sentient beings. And so we send to them all of our happiness and benefit and riches and all that is good as we exhale, along with our compassion and our love. And as we breathe back in, then we're receiving and taking from them all of their suffering, all of their difficulties, any of their sickness. We're taking all of this in on our inhalation, and it is then purified. It is then eliminated. And one should also think at that time that one is responsible for their suffering. One is willingly in their place, taking on all of their suffering so that they will not have to suffer it at all. And so we breathe out and we breathe in this way. And when we think about staying at home and using even our every breath like that, that is when our own home becomes the profound retreat place for Dharma. Other than that, we could go to a really empty and isolated place, and our mind, is nowhere. We don't accomplish a thing, even though we've isolated ourselves. And just as Milarepa has said, that, one can stay at home and be completely accomplished, and another can go to the retreat place in the mountains and not accomplish anything at all, not accomplish liberation. Because what is it that we're looking to liberate ourselves from? We're looking to liberate ourselves from afflictive emotions. That's what we're liberating ourselves from.
다양 로루 구두암 다 돈링기 미바체데 우땅드가라 우틴참포 링보땅 거래. 우 한라젠다 남바젠 덴데 땅교 말에. 고 잡보 링보땅은 애니 미남 수수미남 깡에다 두두칸 갈 라그로와. 네, 잠보 제징보제데. 다 소소 트레딩게도 우주잖아. 루미데 장애했던 따라와. 인디가 루데 슈춤부 땅 거라. 저거 슈춤부 땅 거래. 족바제 거래. 디코 트레딩 야부용했던 따라와. 거기 미남대다 튼데다네 때 루미데 장애라 팽고 온 거래. 아니 잠바 니니지 삼는다는데 갈라 셈기 파게 딩인진 라 네야랑 팽겨래 뱀미스베 야버래 펜동이 자야래 아니 레땅보아 다 렘베 꾸림 랑나 좀다 레땅보아 있나 미 yen기 동안 내야라 강할 태기였나 아니 렘베 수수 마음번은 중길기 동안 데 랭거래 저게 다 gond아용 용하게 강할 데 저벨렌 상이 온다 데 트린렌 나니 온다 데 트린렌 두스네 레야래 짱게 애니티 디 렌투게나 강할 태기메나 랑게 센타니 쇼지 파마이나다 랑게네 초가이나다 게메이나다 다지 랑게 뿌뿌르이나데 틴디 둥알 데 랭거래 데티니 수술은 다미지게네 둥알 데 랭거래 딜라 강할 탱이면은 티니 다 또스 스소 강할 탱인지어 데 랭거래 딜텔레게 또스 셈나 디나 티니 다음마 강 도거래 두세 렘베 꾸림 랑네 잠들 숭레 렘베 꾸림 때서 셰거래 양 맞아 차동 무슨 랑이 제인디가라 렘산 디제바이나 셈나 강할 탱이로 와 그래서 셰거데 패키지 머리
So as you're working with this sending and receiving on the out-breath and the in-breath, you should see to it that your breaths are long and smooth. So they shouldn't be short or forceful at all, but very long and very smooth as you're sending and receiving. And because this will allow you, this process and time allows all that you're intending to develop. You can fully develop your intentions on this long breath out and long breath in. And there are other pranayama or other wind exercises that we do that might be short and rapid, where we're really working with the lower winds and holding like the lower chakras, the lower winds, holding them down, and really like a forceful. And this is something that we work with because it has physical benefits and physical purification. We look to strengthen the physical vitality with that wind. But the wind that we want, or the breath that we want for Tonglen, is long and smooth. And this really benefits, because it benefits both body and mind when we're having this long and smooth exhalation and long and smooth inhalation. So we're working with the physical body with this, but also with the mind. And because we're developing compassion, we're developing love, we're also developing a quality of concentration for meditative absorption. So this really benefits us both physically and mentally. But there's also a threefold, as we're breathing in, we're taking on all the suffering, difficulty, pain, misery, illness of all beings. If this is something that's hard for beginners to do, to take on someone else's suffering, a stranger, someone they don't know, if it's hard, actually, there are different stages. They're said to be these, within the scriptures, it's taught to be the 3 stages of this taking, or receiving. And in the beginning, what a very beginner would do, if it's hard for you to work without being disturbing to your mind, to take on someone else's illness and suffering, start with your own. Actually, you can think about the suffering that you yourself, you're going to meet with or incur tonight or tomorrow. Take that on now. So as you breathe in, take on tonight's suffering or one's own tomorrow's suffering, and you can start like that. And then the next thing that you can do is work with someone that you really love or you're close with, your spouse, your husband, wife, or partner, your own child. You can take their suffering and purify that through your own intention. And then once you've done that, you can so now we have those that might, we have real enemies or people that might just irk us a little bit. We could take someone who kind of is just like a little bit problematic in our life and take on their suffering and purify it and send them our love and compassion. And then after, if that's not causing you any mental distress or disturbance, then you can really take on someone who just really is complete adversary, really wants nothing to do with you, a real enemy, and you can work with them. So in stages, we work with that, because we have to remember that as ordinary beings, we are under the influence of attachment or our, passions and our hatred and our ignorance. We're under their influences. So this is something that we train in stages.
Oh, yeah.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you, thank you.
Did anyone else have a question?
I wonder if Geshe-la might speak to a situation that those of us who leave the house just to, go for a walk in the neighborhood or whatever, there's been such a shift, because it used to be you would see neighbors walking or strangers walking towards you, and it didn't cause any reaction. And now with the social distancing, when you see someone approach, there's like this new response that you're watching them to make sure that, if they're moving closer to you, then maybe you need to back off or whatever. There's this positioning that occurs. My son mentioned to me that last week he was in a grocery store, and they had a limited number of people in the grocery store, but there was one man in there who evidently, I don't know, he thought he might have some mental issues, but he actually physically bumped into my son. And normally that wouldn't have been any big deal, but my son said he felt like, it was kind of freaked him out a little bit. Anyway, I was wondering if Geshe-la could just speak to that a little bit, that difference in our perception right now, and what to do with that.
Ani diri Geshe-la, ani ngoma yana, ani nato kana moshepa yana yandra, ngoma shepa yana yandra, ani tanyepo chana ke yomare tukna, ani ke yomare yana yang teng sang, ani ngato ta rinpo, ani kyang, ani gore. Chetang ani ngoma yana ngato chomchom lam dro yindu mi shandaktuna, dene samo mixalgi chek korgi yomare yana teng sang, tane koso ngala tanepo ani yongo mare nga koso la tanepo drogo mare semlo ngato teng sang ki dutso ta rinpo de gerpegi katsu ngato ki samlo kandre samlo tangore di chikche dene nipa di kongi bu ani noksha gyap yerpe kapsu ngome shepa chik kongi ani to song dene ani aka ta ani yapo yomare samlo korsong ani dodo chana ngaso di tengsang ngaso di kola ani kare samlo tangore dire
Terita. China ta tande chala naza de kung mituna rena naza de gugu arwa. Naza de suyo me hagu umido. Hagoye yomarwa. Tindikala susugone chik gyaring bonde gwade pe misibu ke chimborite. Tate de tejaba nyota ta pe kawakasa mambu yungudo. 다 미생인데 가르쳐거래. 미 캔서부터 내 망보도 와. 다들이 이나 수시샘도 투 마주야 돼. 제가도 빼께서 깨쳐버려. 아니 샘도 투 때 견제니 양 녀다 망보요 인가 여러와. 아니 고 미시브 잡잡 제과지 레샤 달린다 잡잡 제과도 빼 미시브 잡잡 제과야 레샤. 대나네 감바당. 아니 감발라야 미도 junki 망보 다 망보 때빼 미치기도 다 간체 수이나 잡잡적어도 빼 미스베 개침버래 아니 미니멈 피트 G 미터니 미니멈 양다 링보 내고도 빼 미스베 개침버래
G.
미터니 야 피트 G
미터니.
미터
G.
자갈라에는 미터니 락도와
라소, 야야. 라소.
빼 개침버래 다들 띵아서 다 문고대 개침버 시부지래 아니 칼라이나 당아서 칼라데 잘라출린 라벤더 망보지 마자 주전지 윤윤지자고 대게 첨보래 주첨보자고 칼라데 아니 답에 샘딩니다 뢰당겨 말데 류부터 성장ring 존대야 대게 첨보다 꼰족게 첨보래 뱀미지게 첨보래 수성 거에나 하고 말데 수승장ring 뭐 내는 민구 말와 아니 미 연날 하고 그니요 말을 수술 링보되는 수술 민거에 팽기도 와. 티 ஞான 보되는 라라 펜도 유겐 젠라 펜도 군이 줄에도 와. 그 첨보를 됐어. 아주 삼당과도 뺏게 첨보를.
So, this is a really very, very highly transmittable virus. And we don't know who else has it. And so we don't know who has it. We can't tell. And it really does cause a lot of problematic situations, a lot of strange, unusual situations we're finding ourselves in these days. And those can vary, but what's most important is that one's mind doesn't become agitated, that one doesn't become disturbed. Because once one becomes disturbed or worked up about something, that's when all kinds of trouble can come about, like, you know, when someone is touching that didn't mean to. But we have to stay calm, because when we get agitated, this just escalates into trouble. So what's important is to be careful. So really careful, so that hopefully one can avoid those kinds of situations. And, you know, it's, well, old people, you know, for more elderly people, it's difficult and dangerous, you know, poses dangers. But actually, it's not only older people anymore. Now we're seeing actually younger people that get really, really sick and have complications and die. And so whoever it is now, we have to be careful around them and for them. So this keeping distance, this keeping 6 feet distance, we have to remember it. It's for a good reason. And it's that actually it's not just for ourselves, actually. It's for other people as well. Because again, you know, we just don't know. It's highly transmissible. And we could be giving it to them, or they could be giving it to us. So it helps both self and other if we keep our distance. It's helpful that they don't give it to us, and we don't know if we have it. It's helpful that we don't give it to them. But what's of really big importance, although we are keeping our distance from these people that we're seeing, people we know, or people as we're walking on the street, never, ever do we forsake or give them up or create distance in our mind. We never forsake them with our mind. It's simply for their sake and for our sake, we keep physical distance, but never ever lose that mental connection. That's really important.
Yeah, then watch again.
So now let's make our dedication.
Sanjo Semcho Rimboche Make Pana Kinguruchi Kyawa Nyamba Meba Kone Kondo Dewa Rajo Kari Rave Kurvi Jinkamde Pendan Dewa Malinju Cherezi Wan Tenzin Jato Yi Jape Site Parto Tenguruchi Jampo Pawe Childra Kemba Kundo Zampo Teyan Tejinte Teta Kungi Jiso Dalu Gawandida Tanje Ratung Tisum Shebe Gawa Tam Kanla Choto Ngapada Dajenke Tawandi Zampo Chichiratung Waraki.
In the land encircled by snow-white mountains, the source of all happiness and benefit flows in your person, Chenrezig, Tenzin Gyamso, remain until samsara ends. Just as the Bodhisattva Manjushri attained omniscience and Samantabhadra too, so now I dedicate these merits to train and follow in their footsteps. As all the victorious Buddhas of the past, present, and future praise dedication as supreme, so now I too dedicate these sources of my merit for all beings to perfect good actions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.